Hi guys, this is Sam. Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about what are the important questions that are asked when you give an interview for any of the SAP areas. So whether it is financials, whether it's materials management, whether it's human resource, sales and distribution, production planning, project systems, ABAP, which is programming or system administration or HANA basis areas. The important questions are common, and there are 5 areas where you can kind of answer these questions and be successful in the interviews. So let's talk about this. What are these 5 questions or 5 areas that are important for an interview? So number one is when you are giving an interview, the person does not regularly or religiously read your resumes beforehand. So what happens is most delivery heads and most of the selection managers are busy with their routine tasks, and they do not do detailed review of the resumes before the interview. The reason being, there are too many interviews to take, and there are a lot of selects and non-selects, and most of the time the delivery managers or the hiring managers are busy with their routine task in their job areas. Hence, they do not look and review your resumes carefully before the interview. So the first area that you got to be concerned about is the question saying, tell me about yourself. And this question is really asked to you because they have really not gone through your resume in detail. So they want to buy time while you're explaining to them, at the same time validating what you're speaking against the resume that you are submitted to them. So when you are asked about, tell me about yourself, so you will start by answering saying, hey, I'm an expert, or I'm a professional, or I'm a seasoned consultant in financials or materials management or technology areas, and I have overall so many other experience. Overall experience means not just narrowed out areas in your financials or materials management or a technology area. It means overall supply chain or overall working experience, and generically in the logistics and supply chain side or in the financial side, whatever the case may be. So I'll say I have 10 years of experience in financials or logistics, of which I have 5 years of experience in FICO as an expert in configuring financial and controlling areas, as well as working in extended areas within the financials, which is COPA, product costing, asset accounting, activity-based costing, project systems. And if you have specialized in industry solutions, they'll also take that into consideration. For example, oil and gas is joint venture accounting and production revenue accounting. Public sector is public sector collection and disbursement. And if you're in utilities, it's IS utilities. So you will also specify that you specialize in that area where you are going to work in that industry, which is called industry vertical. Once you have done that, then you will also say, I have worked for clients XYZ. For example, you might say I work for IBM or SAP, and I work for Fortune 500 names, such as I have worked for Walmart, or I work for Amazon, or I have worked for Novartis, or I work for, any of those large organizations. And then I have helped them improve their process or technology areas in terms of improving cycle times, or in terms of deliveries of automation of those process areas that they have been looking at, and they have benefited consistently out of this, as well as new technology areas such as S/4HANA Cloud or AI. So once you have done this introduction, which comprises of 4 or 5 components, it comprises of your overall experience, narrowed out experience in your core areas, extended areas, as well as industry solutions and new technology areas. And then you will mention that you have worked for clients in each of the industry verticals. A typical experience also comprises of 2 to 4 full cycle projects, whether it's a full cycle project, which comprises of blueprinting, configuration, testing, go live, rollout and support, as well as data migration. And all those phase areas are covered in full cycle project. And rollout, support, and upgrade projects are all equally important. So once you mention this, so that's the first area they're going to be concerned about you in the interview. So while you have answered this question, they have gone through your resume, and then they're going to start asking you about your experience. So tell me about your last 2 jobs that you have done, or last job you have done what were you really doing? So if you're a financial consultant, you say, I worked in the end-to-end financial areas of SAP, which is configuring financial modules, controlling modules, and then if you have done COPA or product costing or asset accounting, those modules as well. And if you have done an industry solution, for example, you have done public sector collection and disbursement, you say, I've also worked in collection and disbursement. In S4 HANA, which is the latest area of SAP, S4 HANA public cloud or private cloud, whichever area you have worked in. And then you will give some details about the process or the domains or the client specific process, whether it's the order to cash or it's a procure to pay or it's a hire to retire, it's a record to report process, or whether it's a RISE FW, which is reports, interface, conversions, enhancements, forms and workflows, which is the technology area, or whether if you're a system admin, you will talk about those, right? So that's the second thing you'll do. The third thing we are going to talk about is your specialization in your domain. So they might ask you, for example, if you worked in IS utility, have you done device management or capturing data, or you have done contract accounting in terms of convergent billing, so which is called one billing. And then you will have to answer specific to what a convergent billing means, right? That means you will sign a contract which has fixed and variable components, fixed components, your delivery charge, variable components, your kilowatt hours that you use, as well as convergent billing. So if you have people coming to your home to service, they might be subcontractors to the utility company and they invoice that utility company and it invoices you. So that convergent billing has to be known to you and you have to be knowledgeable about that IS utility device management, data capturing, as well as convergent billing. So that would be the third area, which is the specialization area. The fourth area would be a specific technical knowledge that you would have to provide to them. And this technical knowledge is four areas. Number one, transaction codes. Number two, implementation guide, IMG guides, which is what are you doing? So example, if you are saying I integrated financials with material management, what is the transaction code? It's OBYC. If you are integrated financials with sales and distribution, it's VKOA, right? So those transaction codes, automated payment, F110, right? Creating a customer, XD01. So you got to have those T codes as well as configuration and integration areas, transaction codes verbally available to you, and you have to memorize those. So that's important from a technical perspective. Then you will also have to remember the table name. For example, the general ledger master data, SKB1, right? Or sales and distribution and materials management, LFA1 or MARA. So you have to know the table names. Lastly, you might have to know the field names, because if you are doing analytics, you should know. So if you want, what I say in terms of analytics, you will have to know the technical names or parameter IDs of those fields, right? So in the table SKB1, what is the field name of master data, which is general ledger account? In materials management master data, what is the field name of the material number, which is MATNR? So MATNR is the material number, right? Similarly, you will have to remember the field names of some of the important tables and also the transaction code and configuration area as well as integration codes. So four areas I talked about, right? Transaction codes from an easy access guide or end user side, configuration side, T codes, integration codes, I talked about OBYC, VKOA, and finally, table names and field names. So that would be the technical side. They can also ask you tabs, they can ask you drop downs, they can ask you issues. So issues would be another area that you will have to cover, and high priority issues, which are very commonly addressed. For example, if the workflow is not working, where will you address and how will you address those? If there's an error, how will you address those? Will you do ST22, which is a dump analysis, or will you put the debugger on /H, or you will check authorization in a T code like SUIM. So that's the fourth one. The last but not the least, the fifth area is something you don't know or something you have heard about and you have worked in a project, but you're not confident of it. So the escape hatch is, number one, I was involved in my area, which is financials or materials management or production planning or sales and distribution. However, I was involved as a SME or a subject matter expert or a consultant with the other team, which was implementing, for example, Salesforce, right? They're implementing Salesforce, or they're implementing Workday, or they're implementing ServiceNow. So I was going as the master data integration expert, right, for my functional module in that area. So that would be the first escape hatch. The second escape hatch is you have no clue of what that area is. Then you have to say that this was customized. It was 100% a Z code or a Z code or a Y code. And this custom code was written by our company. And once you say you have got a custom code, Y or a Z, then they cannot question you. You can kind of get away with that because its custom code is anything that the company wants. It's total. It could be one of those RISE FW objects, right? It could be an enhancement. It could be a field name within your standard transactions. It could be a totally new report, right? So it's totally customized. So those are the 5 things that you can do in order to be extremely successful in your interviews. We have tried this. We have helped thousands of consultants get success in their career by using these 5 tricks and tips or tips and tricks in SAP interviews, and hope you like these tips. And if you do like, please subscribe to this channel so we can intimate you when we come up with more such informative videos which can help you leapfrog your career and take it to the next level. So hope you like these videos. Please like and subscribe. And this is Sam signing off for SAP Careers and Job Seekers Group. Thank you guys.